Welcome to this explainer. You know, the whole Wild West era of AI? Yeah, it's officially closing its doors. Today, we're diving straight into the August 5th, 2026 AI Vanguard AI briefing, and we're going to decode exactly how this crazy period of unbridled growth is shifting gears into a brand new, heavily regulated era of maturation.
Let's start with a mind-boggling number. $4.86 trillion, right? That is Nvidia's current market cap. It completely solidifies their position, not just as a leader, but literally as the world's most valuable semiconductor company. This number really establishes the astronomical financial foundation of today's industry. Because, let's face it, these physical chips, they are the absolute bedrock of everything we're about to discuss.
So, to track this maturation, we're going to look at 5 key areas today. First, the AI hardware boom. Second, shifting LLM benchmarks. Third, enterprise cost and security. Fourth, the global regulatory crackdown. And finally, developer and legal pushback. Let's get right into it.
Section 1. The AI hardware boom.
You simply can't run next-generation AI without next-generation silicon. And as you can see, the board is getting incredibly crowded. I mean, sure, Nvidia currently holds the crown, but literally every major tech giant is racing to grab a piece of a total addressable market that's projected to top $200 billion annually by 2027. To put that into perspective, that is larger than the GDP of a lot of countries. AMD is gaining some real traction right now with its MI300 series. Intel is competing hard on price with Gaudi, and then of course you've got the massive cloud providers, Google with their TPUs, Amazon rolling out Trainium and Inferentia, and Microsoft developing their own custom silicon.
Moving on to Section 2. Shifting LLM benchmarks. So as all that hardware scales up and gets much more specialized, the old paradigm of testing AI with, basic trivia, that's completely dead. Frontier models like Claude Opus 5 and GPT 5.6 Sol are just way too advanced for that kind of stuff now. Instead, evaluators are hitting these models with 12,500 hardcore math problems straight out of the AMC and AMI, which, if you didn't know, are elite high school mathematics competitions. It's no longer about what the AI has just memorized. It's a strict measurement of how well the AI can actually reason through complex logic.
Now, if you're out there building applications, here is a detailed instruction for applying and measuring this new technology. Do not just look at the baseline price increase, okay? On September 1st, Claude Sonnet 5's introductory pricing ends, and it's moving from $2 to $3 per million input tokens. But, and this is a huge but, thanks to tokenizer upgrades, which essentially pack data much more efficiently, you're actually getting up to 35% more text into that exact same computational block. So your true measurement of value actually relies on calculating this new efficiency. It totally offsets that initial price hike by squeezing way more computational power out of every single prompt you write.
Section 3. Enterprise cost and security.
Running these massive mathematically gifted models definitely isn't cheap, and honestly, it isn't completely safe right out of the box either. We're seeing enterprise tools pivoting hard to a strategy of security by acquisition because, frankly, the vulnerability data is staggering. Get this, Encrypt AI recently discovered 143,000 vulnerabilities across 73% of scanned MCP servers. And remember, that's the very infrastructure connecting AI models to external data and tools. So, in response to this massive security gap, Anaconda just straight up acquired Encrypt AI to bake their runtime guardrails directly into the platform. Bottom line, if you want to play in the enterprise space today, security has to be baked right into the infrastructure from day one.
Alongside that security push comes a pretty harsh reality check on corporate spending. Microsoft Executive Vice President Jay Parikh perfectly captured the new mood in a recent internal memo. He stated, "Token maxing is not what we are optimizing for." Basically, the days of token maxing, maximizing AI output and endless experimentation without any regard for the financial cost, those days are completely over. Microsoft is now laying down strict new AI token budgets for their engineering divisions. This signals a massive, industry-wide shift towards serious internal cost discipline.
Which brings us to Section 4, Global Regulatory Crackdown.
This corporate belt-tightening directly coincides with some heavy new rules being enforced by world governments. The EU AI Act is actively enforced as of August 2nd. If you are developing high-risk systems, think AI applications for biotech or clinical decision support, you need to follow these instructions exactly. Step 1, run a conformity assessment. Step 2, finalize your technical documentation. Step 3, affix a CE marking to your product. And Step 4, complete your registration in the EU database. This gives us a very clear step-by-step measurement of compliance that companies absolutely cannot ignore.
And trust me, if you decide to skip those steps, the penalties are incredibly severe. Failure to comply with these new transparency rules, which, by the way, also mandate clear labeling for chatbots and machine-readable marks for deepfakes, can trigger massive fines of up to 15 million euros, or, even worse, 3% of your worldwide annual turnover, whichever is higher. So yeah, the European Commission's AI office is clearly not messing around. Now, this public, really heavy-handed approach in the EU stands in stark contrast to the newly completed US White House framework. The U.S. approach is, well, it's entirely opaque. It relies on classified benchmarks, gives the government a 30-day preview window on frontier models, and keeps all its technical details strictly non-public. In fact, major tech giants just attended a secret staff-level briefing at the White House to review it. It is fascinating to see two completely different regulatory approaches trying to wrangle the exact same technology.
Finally, Section 5, Developer and Legal Pushback.
With all these top-down regulations and corporate cost-cutting measures happening, we're actually seeing developers drawing their own lines in the sand down on the ground level. For instance, the maintainers of the Rust programming language have instituted strict new rules. They've stated that large language models may answer, analyze, distill, refine, check, suggest, review, but they may not create. To protect the integrity of their ecosystem, pull request authors must now explicitly disclose LLM use, and any LLM-generated code faces much stricter testing requirements. It's just a fascinating look at technical self-regulation in real time.
At the exact same time, the legal system is stepping in and giving developers some crucial breathing room against tech monopolies. In a really major legal win, the Ninth Circuit overturned a lower court order that had originally barred Perplexity's shopping agent from accessing Amazon. The court actually ruled that under the federal computer hacking statute, it's the human user, not the AI agent, that technically accessed the site. This specific loophole is a massive deal. It sets a major legal precedent for exactly how autonomous agents are going to be allowed to operate on the open web.
All this leaves us with a critical question to consider as this industry officially grows up. As this AI infrastructure market balloons toward that $200 billion mark we talked about earlier, who is actually going to hold the reins? Who will ultimately write the rules? Is it going to be world governments with their massive fines and classified frameworks? Will it be the mega corporations controlling the hardware and the budgets? Or will it be the developers and the courts carving out the boundaries, line by line?
Thank you so much for joining this explainer. The AI landscape is maturing faster than ever right now, and keeping up with these power dynamics, pricing structures, and policy shifts is absolutely critical. Make sure to subscribe to AI Vanguard AI to stay at the cutting edge of industrial AI. And hey, if you found this synthesis valuable, please like, comment, and share. See you next time.